Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. A brand new dig at the Money Pit yields almost instant results. On the Curse of Oak Island this week, the team recommenced digging at the Money Pit as they christened a new shaft and almost instantly began pulling up artifacts. After last week's disappointment when the TF1 shaft ended in failure, there was a renewed vigor and optimism amongst the fellowship of the dig as drilling began for a second time. Rick Lagina introduced Dan Henske to the drill team as the elder statesman of Oak Island, and Dan was given the honor of starting the drill and naming the new shaft. He christened it Early Christmas 1, or EC1 for short. The giant 10-foot wide steel caisson, which began carving out the shaft, was placed just a few feet to the east of the failed TF1 shaft. The guys are hopeful that EC1 will be a success, as it was in this area that they previously discovered wood dating all the way back to 1488. And they also uncovered traces of gold and silver. However, the team had two very specific goals with this hole. Firstly, they were aiming for what is believed to be a collapsed tunnel that may contain the scattered remains of treasure. The historical record states that during a dig in 1861, a collapse occurred at approximately 90 to 118 feet. This caused a chamber to shatter, spreading the gold and silver across a wider area. Secondly, the guys also suspect that at a slightly deeper depth, they'll come across the Chapel Vault. Named after William Chappell's dig of the 1930s, the vault is thought to contain an unknown amount of riches. The drill moved fast and soon uncovered artifacts. The drill team moved really fast, and by the middle of last night's episode, they were already hitting a depth of 80 feet. It was at this point, and much to the team's relief, that the hammer grab began pulling up wood. It was essential that they first find wood. Wood was required to show the presence of a tunnel collapse and a chamber that could contain a vault. Once the hammer grab went past 86 feet, it started pulling out numerous axe-cut wood beams, and some of the stuff looked really old. The next step is to get some of this wood carbon dated to find out its true age. And hopefully, next week, the team will break through the wood and start pulling up some real treasure. Jack Begley found another intriguing artifact. Also, on last night's episode, Jack Begley uncovered a curious artifact from the spoils of the TF1 shaft. It appeared to be a small piece of parchment, which excited the guys, as one theory states that ancient documents may have been buried at the Money Pit. The artifact was handed over to some experts at the Interpretative Center, who analyzed it closely and determined that it was not parchment, but a special kind of paper used to wrap explosives, specifically dynamite. In 1909, an excavation, partly funded by future U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, detonated dynamite in a shaft at the Money Pit. Marty Lagina saw this revelation as good news. He suggested this could explain why they had found fragments of gold and silver. He reasoned that if dynamite were detonated near a deposit of treasure, it would blow off small pieces. Therefore, they must be near the main deposit. The skies over Oak Island were unusually clear, the sun casting a golden glow over the dense woods and rocky shores. The Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, stood at the edge of the Money Pit, the most enigmatic spot on the island. The air was thick with anticipation, the kind that had built up over years of searching, digging, and unearthing tantalizing clues that only seemed to deepen the mystery of Oak Island. As the new drilling rig roared to life, the team gathered around, each member harboring a private hope that today might be the day they finally uncovered definitive proof of the treasure they had long sought. The rig's powerful drill bit began its descent into the earth, cutting through layers of soil and rock with a purposefulness that matched the determination of the treasure hunters above. Craig Tester, the meticulous engineer, monitored the drilling process closely, his eyes flicking between the various gauges and screens. "We're going deeper than we've ever gone before," he announced, his voice carrying a mix of excitement and caution. "This new technology should give us an edge." The first few hours passed in a tense silence, punctuated only by the hum of the machinery and the occasional murmur of conversation. Marty, ever the skeptic, kept a watchful eye on the operation, while Rick, the dreamer, allowed his mind to wander back through the centuries, imagining the hands that might have crafted the mysterious underground labyrinth they sought to unravel. Then, without warning, the drill bit hit something unusual. A sharp clank echoed up the shaft, causing the crew to exchange hopeful glances. "What is it?" Rick asked, stepping closer to the monitors. "We've hit a hard surface," Craig replied, adjusting the controls to slow the drill's progress. "It could be a stone slab or the top of a treasure vault," Marty finished for him, unable to suppress a grin. The drill continued its cautious descent, churning up fragments of material that were carefully collected and analyzed. Soon, they had their answer. The drill had pierced a layer of hand-hewn timbers, remarkably well-preserved despite their age. The significance of the find was not lost on the team. "It matches the description of the original money pit structure," Rick said, his voice thick with emotion. "We might be looking at something that hasn't seen the light of day in over 200 years. As the drilling continued, the team began extracting core samples from the site. Each segment was a snapshot of the past, revealing layers of soil, wood, and other materials that hinted at the pit's construction. Among the samples were fragments of coconut fiber, a material not native to the region, and a hallmark of the mysterious engineering behind the money pit. The excitement reached a fever pitch when, just a few feet deeper, the drill bit encountered another hard surface. This time, the material brought up was different, a piece of metal, heavily corroded but unmistakably man-made. Laird Niven, the team's archaeologist, carefully examined the artifact. "This could be part of a chest or some other container," Laird speculated, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "If we're lucky, it might still contain something valuable." The team decided to halt the drilling temporarily and bring in a specialized camera to explore the newly discovered chamber. As the camera descended into the depths, the monitors above displayed a grainy, yet mesmerizing view of the pit's interior. The beams of the camera's lights cut through the murky water, revealing the outlines of timbers, debris, and, incredibly, what appeared to be a series of metal objects partially buried in the silt. Gasps and exclamations filled the air as the camera's feed panned across the scene. Rick leaned forward, his heart pounding in his chest. There, he pointed at the screen, where the camera had focused on a glint of something metallic and ornate. "Zoom in on that." The camera operator complied, and the image sharpened to reveal a small, intricately designed object that looked suspiciously like a piece of jewelry. "It could be a brooch or a pendant," Alex Lagina suggested, his voice tinged with awe. "Something that belonged to one of the original depositors." The team quickly mobilized to devise a plan for retrieving the objects from the chamber. It was a delicate operation, requiring both precision and patience. As the retrieval device was carefully lowered into the pit, everyone held their breath, the weight of their collective anticipation almost palpable. Minutes felt like hours, but finally the device emerged from the pit, clutching a small, mud-encrusted object. As it was carefully cleaned and examined, the team could hardly believe their eyes. It was indeed a piece of jewelry, a gold brooch set with a large, sparkling gemstone. "This is incredible," Marty said, his voice filled with wonder. "This is the most significant find we've ever made here."